Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, as you can see in the title, we are doing a full face demo of First Impressions. I used everything brand new. There was not a single thing I used today. That's not true. I used the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel that I've used before just because I forgot to get one. But every single other item on my face today, 100% brand new to me. So if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching. And please don't forget to subscribe because I do upload 3 times a week. And that is the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. Also, I am playing around with the days I post. I know it used to be like Monday, Thursday, Saturday, but I've noticed no one really watches my Saturday videos, so I might shift to like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't know. Let me know down below what days you look forward to videos and when would be the best for you guys. I'd love to hear your feedback, and let me know some of the products that you enjoy in this video. Maybe you want to see utilized in another way, and I will happily do that for you. I'm going to stop rambling and let's jump right into the video. All right, so jumping into the first product, this is the new Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. This, and I will list down below all of the prices and the products that I use just so you guys can get all of that information in one spot. And this is supposed to be a really tacky, really thick hydrating primer to make your makeup last a really long time. Ooh, that is definitely thick. I'm gonna take that. I'm actually gonna grab a paddle brush to apply this just because it is a little on the stickier side. Oh, that's really sticky. All right. Do you see how sticky this is? So it's definitely very tacky. It does say to give it a few minutes to kind of like, not even a few minutes, but like a minute for it to dry down a little bit. But if this is gonna like, it reminds me almost of the J1 Jelly Pack. This is a very sticky primer. It reminds me of that because it does get really tacky, and that definitely does help for things to like lock in throughout the day. For foundation, this just launched from Sephora collection. It is the Full Coverage Long Lasting Matte Perfection Foundation. I picked up the shade 22. I did also get the brush that it goes with, the Perfect Match. I don't know, I don't have the brush in front of me. But I'm going to take a little bit of this foundation. I'm actually going to grab that paddle brush just to make it easier. I'm going to take a very small amount because it did say that this was quite a bit of coverage and a little goes a long way. I don't want to prejudge, but this does look a little yellow for me, but we're still going to obviously try it out. They were not kidding about the coverage. A little definitely does go a long way. Once it dries down, there's really no tackiness to the skin, so it does definitely dry down matte. I will say that on camera, looking in the monitor, I do look a lot lighter than I thought I would, so I am going to give this a second to dry down. If not, my bronzer is definitely going to be too dark today, so it'll be a nice contrast. So I do have 2 concealers. I have the Smashbox Studio Skin Flawless and the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter. Because this is looking a little yellow, I'm going to go with the Fenty because this one is a little bit more cool toned. And I did get the shade 200, which is the perfect match to my Fenty foundation shade. For the hell of it, I'm going to take a little bit of the Studio Skin, just because why not, and blend that out. Okay, I am switching over to a brush just because I do really like the shape of this brush and the way that it pats everything in. But more importantly, because of the coverage of the Fenty foundation, I don't like it with a sponge. I definitely prefer it with a brush. I'm thinking the same thing for the concealer. Yeah, this is definitely moving a whole lot nicer with a brush versus a sponge. Just like with the Fenty foundation though, once I'm blended out, I do still like to take a sponge just to finesse a little bit, but the preliminary blend is definitely done with a brush. For powder, this is the Peach Perfect Setting Powder from Too Faced. I have loved their traditional ethereal setting powder for a very long time now, but the fact that this has a little bit of a peachy tone, I already know I'm going to love. Whether it's as matte as it says it is, that's going to be a different story. However, a peach toned powder, I just got a little in my mouth and it tasted sweet. I don't think that's supposed to happen. But with this powder, you know how everything looked a little bit on the, for lack of a better word, yellow side? Everything was a little too warm. Once I took the powder on the under eye, it definitely like blurred things a little bit more and added a little more pink, which is perfect for someone like me who's really cool toned. I just got a little more in my mouth. This is definitely sweet. It tastes like it's sweetened. I don't know if that's okay. I don't know if that's healthy, but I like the powder. So far, everything is looking really flawless and really matte, like super matte. So the one thing I will say, my pores are definitely blurred. I'll zoom you guys in a little bit. My pores are definitely blurred a little bit. They're still there, so it's not quite as like blurred up as it normally would be if I was using like a blurring primer as opposed to this like gripping primer. It doesn't claim to be smoothing, but if I would put this over like my Tarte Clean Slate or my Tatcha Silk Canvas, I think I would like it a little bit more. Now, because this is a matte foundation, a matte powder, and a matte concealer, I'm not going to bake today. This is the extent of the powder I'm going to add. But I am going to grab my setting spray just to take down some of the powderiness before I blend. This is the Redo setting spray from Beauty Blender. It is meant to be a... 2 caps? Okay. It is meant to be a hydrating... Oh, that's very fine. A hydrating, milky, like, set and refresh mist. So we're going to take down the powderiness a little. So that is a really nice spray. It is very, very fine. We'll be using more of that in a little bit. Now I'm going to throw on a quick brow. I have never used the Precisely My Brow pencil from Benefit. I've been an Anastasia fan for a long time. I did pick up the shade 4.5. So we're going to use that today. I think that might be a little too warm. So I take that back. I don't think it's too dark. I do like the tone of it, and it did go on very smooth. I am going to grab a clear brow gel from Anastasia. I have used this before. This is going to be the only item today that is not an actual first impression, because I totally didn't even think about a brow gel when I was getting a full face of stuff. So I don't have contour today. I'm just going to be taking bronzer and using that to sculpt the face. This is a new shade of Hoola from Benefit. This is Hoola Caramel. Originally, let me grab my original Hoola. So I have used the Hoola for a while, like the word Hoola is long gone. The Hoola Caramel is definitely a little bit warmer. So this is more of like, for me, a contour shade. I am very cool toned and I used to be very anti-warm bronzer. Lately I've been liking a little more warmth to the perimeters of the skin. So I'm going to be taking that on a Benefit cheek brush. And I'm going to start off with just a little bit and just warm up the perimeter of the skin. See, I don't think that is necessarily too dark at all. Definitely a little heavy-handed, but that might just be the fact that this is not quite the brush I would normally go in with. So I don't love the brush. I would use that more for contour. So I'm going to grab a slightly larger brush just to diffuse the bronzer the way I've really been liking lately. Now this is where I'm a little terrified because this looks really pigmented. This is the new Wanderlust Primer Infused Blush from Buxom. I did get it in the shade Dolly. It is a little bit deeper and a little more mauve-y than I normally go for, and it is quite pigmented. However, I feel like I wear the same 3 shades of blush all the time, so I wanted to do something a little bit differently. So I'm going to take that on my E4 from Morphe, and I'm going to tap off a lot of product and just lightly add some blush. Actually, that's not bad. I expected that to be way darker on the skin and way more pigmented, but it actually warms up nicely and adds a nice sheen. I'll just blend a little bit of that over the bronzer as well. Now these claim to be very long wear. I like the tone of this. So I am going to take a touch of that peach powder again, and I'm just going to use that to slightly veil over the cheeks because this did go a little bright very quick. So I'm going to take a touch of that powder and just lightly veil the bronzer and the blush just to make it a little bit less intense. And I'm actually going to take that and just lightly cut the cheek. Okay, so the next thing I picked up, it is for highlight and actually the lid for my eyes. It is the Metallic Pigment Palette from Sephora collection. This came in a cute little box, but it is really pretty. I bought this today just because, well, the silver was calling to me. But it's a cheek palette. There's some rosiness if you did want some blush. Some of these shades are a little more like radiant bronzers, but they all looked really shimmery in the store. So I'm going to go quickly throw some bronzer in my crease and define my eyes so that when we come back, we can highlight the face and highlight the lids. Beautiful. So this actually blended out really easily on the eye. So we're going to grab the Metallic palette, and I think I'm going to start. The face is very warm. All right, I'm going to take this rose gold shade and I'm going to put that on the cheekbones. Before I do that, we're just going to take a touch more of the setting spray. And I'm going to take the rose gold shade to start. Oh, that's beautiful. It's a very soft powder, but it's blending out really nicely. Not looking overly stripy when you look forward, but the second you turn to the side, you're definitely getting that intense color payoff. We are very glowy now. All right. Because of how glowy that is, I am going to take... I'm going to take this really bronzy shade up here. And I am going to spray that with a little bit of my setting spray. We're going to press that on the lid. It's really pretty too. Definitely very warm, very copper. Okay, definitely much more foiled when you go in with your finger as opposed to a brush. I think what I like most about this is this isn't marketed as an eye or cheek palette. It just says Metallic Pigment Palette. So it is meant to be eyes and face and everywhere in between. So I'm going to grab a touch more of that bronzer just to blend out the edges a bit. Because of how dark and fiery it is, I'm going to take a touch of the silver shade. Ooh, that's beautiful. I'm going to pat that over just to make it a little bit frostier. Oh yeah, I like that much more. I feel like this silver shade is the reason I bought this palette. So because of how that blends out, I'm really definitely a fan. I'm gonna go curl my lashes and throw on my mascara. I'll be using for the first time ever the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Mascara, which I have absolutely never used before. So I'm excited to try that, but I am gonna apply it off camera just because you know the drill. I get this close and you can't see anything anyway. So I'm gonna go do that and I'll be right back. All right, so I am back. I am really a fan of the volume I got from this mascara. Normally I would want to grab onto my roller lash just to kind of comb through it and change the lashes up a bit, but I'm actually quite happy with this. I did realize I forgot to highlight my brow bone and inner corner, so I'm going to dip once again back into this palette, and I'm going to take the silver pigment, and I'm going to take that on the inner corner and the brow bone. Now that that's done, I'm going to set down the face one last time. And we are on to lip. So I have two lipsticks and a gloss. I don't know which one I want to do. Everything's very warm. I feel like a red is the way to go. Yeah, I'll try it. So I did grab two also from Sephora collection, nice and affordable. This is literally a navy blue lipstick, which I think might be a little much for the eye look. This one is a beautiful matte red. So I'm going to throw on the red lip. Again, I'm going to do this off camera and we'll be right back to top it off with a gloss. So now that this is on, I kind of wish I went with the blue. I mean, I love the way this looks and everything looks nice and glowy, but I don't know, something about a dark blue lipstick just kind of speaks to me. The last item I have, this is from Artist Couture. I love the Diamond Glow powders. I love the Diamond Luxe Luminizers, and they just launched the Diamond Lip Tease. I got the shade Foreplay. It is a beautiful clear gloss with beautiful like micronized pigments. I love a clean virgin wand. So because I do have a red lipstick, I'm not going to take this directly off here. I am going to grab a lip brush just because I don't want to ruin the rest of this lipstick and stain it red. So I'm going to grab a lip brush and apply this. And just for shits and giggles, I am going to set the face down one last time. And that is the finished look. So let's go through the products and see what we are thinking. First, the Milk Makeup Primer. I am going to have to put it to the test and really see how long everything wears. But I like the way it feels. It doesn't feel sticky or tacky. Everything blended really nicely on top of it. That being said, with the foundation, I think because I went in with such a glowy, radiant setting spray, it doesn't look super matte, but it does have a nice, healthy glow to it. So I think if you do have more normal skin, this is going to be a really nice combo. The skin looks really like refreshed and dewy. Like even where I didn't highlight, there's just a nice general glow to the skin. This brush I think I'm going to be using a lot and you are going to be seeing a lot because it is a very dense brush and I feel like it was super soft. Definitely blended everything out wonderfully. For the concealers, I am going to have to use them both on their own, but the under eye looks great. There is no major creasing on the under eye. Everything seems to look very pretty. I love the shades, and I think they actually worked very well together. The bronzer is a huge hit. In person, I'm looking really bronzy and glowy. Some of that's getting lost on camera. I'm going to dim the lights quickly so you can see that a little better. Okay, so without the ring light washing out the lights, you do see that it is definitely a little bit darker on the skin. It also does help the glow be a little more vibrant. I don't know why, but the more light actually subdues the highlight. I don't get it. But all in all, like the skin still does look very good and very like luminous and glowy. I think we're at the point where we're almost bordering on shiny, but it's definitely like I'm not oily. I'm radiant. Beautiful. Brow, I'm going to play with it more and see how it pairs with everything else, but it does look very nice. The powder, I think I'm in love. I love the tone of it. I think it really helped everything. I am going to grab my powder brush just to see because everything is looking very shiny. Let's take a look. If we were to take a tiny bit of powder or a lot of powder, and just softly, gently powder over the face. Oh no, that's definitely taking down some of the shine. So if you are very oily, I mean, I know I'm oily, but I still like to be a little semi-radiant. I think if you skipped that setting spray, you will find everything to be a little bit like it's less dewy already. So it is definitely a dewy setting spray. If you don't want to be super dewy, super glowy, super hydrated, then you can definitely go without it because that shine went down really easily and that powder just sucked up all that oil. The brush for the bronzer, definitely something I would use to contour, maybe even like blush. Not a fan of using it for bronze though. Pleasantly surprised with the blush. I thought it was going to be way too dark and way too radiant, but I really did enjoy that. The pigment palette is stunning. I am going to take a touch more on like a blushy brush, and I'm going to take some of that silver pigment and just build up the glow. Oh my god, that's beautiful. See, like that to me is the perfect glow. Like this side is pretty, this side is better. Just a touch of that silver added on the entire skin. Like we are beautiful and glowy, and I'm definitely a fan. You will be seeing this a lot more. The gloss is beautiful. I'm gonna have to try and play around with it on its own just to see what it does, but I'm clearly enjoying it. And the lipstick, like this is a really pretty formula. Not slipping, not sliding, not getting everywhere. Definitely not transfer proof, but it never says to be. So if it's not claiming to be transfer proof and you're like gonna touch it up or pay attention to it, it's definitely something worth looking at because they're like $8. Mascara, you'll see again. I think I really like the mascara. Now that it's dry, I am gonna throw another coat on. So it definitely builds nicely on top of itself. So if you do like a mascara, you can really build up. I think this might be a hit for you. All in all, I don't think there's anything here I'm never gonna touch again. There weren't any like major flops. The one thing I will say is like, for me, I don't think the setting spray is it. I think it's pretty. I think if you had more of a drier skin, you might enjoy that a lot more. But for me personally, with oily skin, I don't think that's it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know down below what products from this are you going to try and get your hands on versus what are you not really feeling. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.